Lowe's Home Improvement was started in 1921 as the North Wilkesboro Hardware Store in downtown North Wilkesboro. Now, Lucius would eventually go into business with his brother-in-law, H. Carl Buchan, and then Buchan would essentially take over because he was a pretty good businessman and realized after World War II that construction would spike and they could make a lot of money off construction material. And they did just that. After the war, the necessity for building materials was so important that they were able to make a lot of money off lumber and roofing materials and many other things that Lowe's would provide. And that's how they became one of the biggest home improvement stores in the country. This is a modern Lowe's. They have an indoor lumber yard. Outside one end, and well, they call it bullpen, whatever. But yeah, this is kind of a smaller Lowe's, but that's the modern one, and it's changed a lot in the last 50 years, or whenever it, since the yep, that's the modern Lowe's that you see today. Very different than the abandoned one that I found in near Charlotte, Kannapolis. Yeah. This was so cool. This is actually an abandoned Lowe's I found a few years ago. Yeah, in Kannapolis, North Carolina, not far from Charlotte. But yeah, it was one of my first videos. But it just like coincidental now that I work there. This is one of the originals, one of the old ones. You could tell my filming wasn't very well. You could see how my camera work was everywhere. But yeah, this would have been one of the old original box stores dating back to the 70s, maybe late 60s, but I would say 70s, 80s. Before they built the ones that you see today, the Lowe's Home Improvements that you see, the modern ones, the super stores, I guess you would call it. And I guess that was those were the brands that were popular at the time. Well, times have changed. I don't know any of those, but yes, that was this was one of the originals. I don't know if this is an old picture of that same Lowe's, but this is obviously a vintage picture of Lowe's back in what I assumed it looks like the 70s with the cars, or at least the late 60s. There's some muscle cars there from the late 60s, but some of those cars are early 70s, though, I think. Nevertheless, though, that's a old vintage Lowe's Home Improvement. So cool. Thank you all so much for joining me, and remember to subscribe, like, and check out some of my other videos.